The Sony a7 III dropped in 2018, and it was praised for its high performance at a reasonable price. But considering all the options that we have available to us today in 2024, is the Sony a7 III even still worth it? To help you determine whether it's worth it, I'm going to list a few pros and cons of this camera so that you have adequate information in front of you. So without wasting any more of your time, let's get into the pros and cons, starting with the pros. It's very good at photo and video. That's the really cool thing about the a7 III is that it doesn't suck at photos and it doesn't suck at videos. It holds its own in both departments. The Sony a7 III has great image quality, and that's thanks to its 24 megapixel full frame CMOS sensor. You'll be able to take tack sharp images with this camera, but you'll also be able to take really great video as well. Its low light capability is actually pretty impressive too. The a7 III offers 14 stops of dynamic range, and its ISO range is also pretty incredible. It's got pretty impressive autofocus as well. It's got eye autofocus for us, obviously, but it's also got eye autofocus for animals. This is actually pretty cool because I'm thinking about getting into wildlife photography, and this is a really great feature for the camera to have. The Sony a7 III can shoot 10 frames per second. Now this is really good if you're into sports photography or taking pictures of your kids running around or cars or birds or your mad lad friend Kevin who just moves unusually fast. It's going to be able to capture it, and it's just a great feature for the camera to have. The Sony a7 III, as I said before, doesn't fall short in the video department either. The Sony a7 III offers 4K up to 30 frames a second and full HD all the way up to 120 frames per second. So you can also capture really great slow motion with this camera as well. Even though the a7 III is an older model, it has in-body image stabilization. Now it's not perfect, but the very fact that it even has it is actually pretty awesome. The camera offers you dual card slots, which not only allows you to shoot more, but it also allows you to separate your video files from your photo files, which is going to be really helpful when you're scanning through all of these photos. You don't have to do that. You just go to the video file, find the one you want, and there it is. That's a really cool feature of this camera, and not a lot of cameras actually have this, so the fact that it has dual card slots is actually really cool. The a7 III also has a weather sealed body, which means that you can safely shoot in the rain or in the snow. As long as you're not shooting in some sort of torrential rainstorm, you should be good. The build quality is actually really good. The body feels solid, it doesn't feel fragile, it doesn't feel like you're gonna break it. It feels super sturdy, and it's actually really impressive because when I got this camera, I didn't think that it would feel so strong, but it definitely has a solid feel. Doesn't feel like it's going to break like glass, so that's always a plus. The battery life in the Sony a7 III is pretty impressive. I almost don't even charge this camera. I'll look at the camera and notice that it still has so much life left to go in the battery even after I've been shooting for a couple of hours, so they got good batteries. The lens selection for the a7 III is pretty vast. Not only do you have great lenses for the E-mount system from Sony themselves, but you also have a really great selection of lenses from third parties too. The camera is also great if you plan to do any color grading. The Sony a7 III offers S-Log profiles, so there's that. Alright guys, that's the pros out of the way. Let's now move on to a few cons to consider with this camera. The Sony a7 III does not have a flip out screen. I don't know why. If they had a flip out screen, then this camera would just be out of the park, but they don't. And that is kind of frustrating because it's especially difficult when you're trying to shoot yourself and you really can't get a good angle at all. So you kind of have to keep running back and forth to check it out. And it's also bad when you're taking photos of people and you're trying to get low angles. You can't really see what's going on, and you're just gonna have to probably lay on the ground, which sucks. That's one thing that this camera doesn't have, and it's definitely something to consider. And although it's not as good as a flip out screen, the Sony a7 III does offer the option to connect to Wi-Fi and use Bluetooth and use your phone as a monitor. Now you have to be connected to the same internet. Your phone and your camera have to be connected to the same internet, But as long as you have a hotspot on your phone, you can connect the camera to your hotspot, and then you can use your phone as a monitor. Again, it's not as good as having an actual flip out screen, but it's at least something. It's better than absolutely nothing, and it's better than buying an expensive monitor. The Sony a7 III only offers 8-bit video. I stated before that you can do some color grading with the a7 III, which is true, but since that only offers 8-bit video, you're not going to be able to color grade extensively. If you're doing a lot of heavy color grading, then the 8-bit video might not be enough for you. The difference between 8-bit and 10-bit essentially refers to the amount of color information that your sensor can capture. An 8-bit image can display 16.7 million colors, whereas 10-bit can display over 1 billion colors. This means that 10-bit allows for more nuanced and detailed color grading, reducing the risk of color banding and preserving more details during post-processing. However, for most casual users, 8-bit video will be great. You could still get some great color grading out of 8-bit video, but that's just something to consider with this camera. This will be a quick one, but the menu on this camera is complicated. It has a lot of stuff to learn, and if you are upgrading from a simpler camera like a T3i or something similar, then this is going to be pretty overwhelming. I know for me it was very overwhelming, but just give it time. The menu becomes a little less complicated the more and more you use the camera, and then you actually start to appreciate the more complicated menu because you have features in there that you'll probably never use, but if you need them, they're there. This menu is definitely overwhelming in the beginning. It's not crazy, but that's just something that I wanted to let you guys know. Now on to the pricing. The Sony a7 III comes in at about $1,400 for the body alone, and about $1,800 for the body, a lens, and a few accessories. While this is a hefty price tag, I think it is justified given the versatility of the a7 III. The successor, the Sony a7 IV, comes in at $2,200 for the body alone, and it doesn't even render the a7 III obsolete. So I think that this price for the Sony a7 III is honestly pretty reasonable. The Sony a7 III remains a strong contender in its price range, and the fact that you can get a camera as versatile as the a7 III for this price range is pretty incredible. It's just crazy that you can get a camera like this for a price that's not going to put you on the streets. If any of you guys are interested in the a7 III, I'll have a link to it down in the description below. The Sony a7 III isn't the most powerful camera on the market for either photo or video, but it's excellent at both. While other cameras in similar price ranges might outperform the a7 III in specific areas like photo or video, the a7 III is an all-rounder. It's phenomenal at photo and video. Given its age, it is a very impressive camera, and I honestly don't see a time when the Sony a7 III will just suck. It's too good of a camera, and it's just going to age well. It's a good camera, and it's not going to become obsolete. You're never going to be the guy with trash camera because you have the a7 III. And if anyone owns the a7 III, they can tell you in the comments. It's a really great camera. Alright guys, that'll do it for today's video. And I don't mean to do the YouTuber stuff, but if you guys could give this if you guys could give this video a like, I would greatly appreciate it. It really does help with the algorithm. And as I said before, I'll leave a link to the Sony a7 III in the description below if any of you guys are interested. But with all that said, until next time, God bless.